Nathan, I thought it's time we get outside and we go get some dinner. So here we are. Which yum cha place do you want to go to? Do you want to go to a dumplings? I'm down for dumplings if you like. I don't know. What are you feeling, bro? Chicken feet? I don't know.
It's good being outdoors, but Brenton, why are we in Chinatown?
Well, Nathan, I thought we'd celebrate since we were reviewing Chinatown that I'd take you out for dinner in Chinatown. I mean,
Brenton,
you know that classic film?
I don't think you've seen the film Chinatown, Brenton. Wow, we're here! We're back.
Oh, man.
It's been a week.
We are back. It's been a whole week. Gosh.
I know.
It's weird how that happens, isn't it? That, like, time...
It's weird how the passage of time passes.
Oh,
yeah.
Gosh. I just,
we're
a week old. We're both a week older, Nathan, and our audience is a week older. And guess what? There are some people that might listen to this podcast in the future that were born in this past week. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy shit like that just blows your mind. You know what I mean?
Just the concept of time. What a marvel.
Oh, and we're all going to die, So, and this podcast won't last forever. The human race won't last forever. Our planet won't last forever.
No.
It's all about the journey, man. You got to enjoy it,
Yeah.
It's all coming to an end. So enjoy it while it lasts. And
this is classic movie banter endgame. We're in the end.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, we could have a whole discussion about the universe and how we think where things are headed and, whether humankind is doomed and whatnot. But Nathan, that's not what we're here to do on this show.
We're not here for that. You can go to other podcasts for that, Brenton. Why are we here today?
Well, here on Classic Movie Banter, myself, one Brenton, and that guy, one Nathan.
Hello.
We talk about movies that are 20 years or older, which makes them classics, incidentally. And we talk about whether these films are still worth watching today, or whether they're worth putting through a meat grinder, frying into a burger patty, serving it on a bun, and then just not eating it, just leaving it out in the sun and just letting it...
leaving it out. I must say, Brendan, I love how creative you get with your visceral deaths, for the movies that we talk about each week. It's a fun little part of the podcast.
Well, man, I have a list here that just keeps growing. Like next week's is looking pretty good. I did the burger patty today. We're not going to, we got to keep things fresh here on the podcast.
We do.
It's in our name, the banter, so
we got to keep that banter going. Like, I'm so impressed that you're finally wearing clothes today, Brenton. Like, it's frankly, it's quite unsettling you doing the podcast in nude, but now you're in like a Motown suit to match Jack Nicholson today, Brenton.
Hey man, I thought I'd come dressed for the occasion, literally. Dressed.
That would be amazing if you came to my house and you consistently wore something that had to do with the movie. Like,
I would be terrified if one day we reviewed Mike Myers' Cat in the Hat, and I just came as like in full cat, you'd
go full Mike Myers with that.
Yeah, man, the cat's costume from Tom Hooper's Cats at the end of the year, but like just with one of those red and white striped top hats, ready to go.
I'm glad we recorded that before you started doing this.
Hey man, it's gonna happen one day when that film hits 20 years. Meow.
Oh, that'd be great. But we're not here to talk about that movie, Brenton. We're continuing our streak of classics, We've done Zhivago, and we're now doing Chinatown,
Hey, Chinatown.
What a time.
Yeah,
wouldn't it be great if by plot
69.
twist, like, we went to a Chinatown, like we went to Sydney's Chinatown, and we just ended up reviewing that, and listeners thought we were talking about the Roman Polanski film?
Yeah, man. I mean, like, I think we'd offend a lot of people.
Well, like, yeah, this duck soup's okay, but, I'm more fan of the schnitzel, to be honest. So we continue our food podcast dreams.
Oh, hey, man. I'm telling you guys one day, Nathan and I are going to start a cooking show, like an online cooking show, and we're going to take you through all these different types of cuisines. We're going to show you our favorite dishes, and it's just going to be us two. Like, basically this show, but like, we have to cook at the same time.
That'd be great, Brenton. That'd be absolutely great.
It's going to happen.
Well, look, buddy. Let's talk about the movie Chinatown, because that's what's in the title today. And look, I am Roman Polanski, so watch out. I'm a bit of a dangerous fella.
Are you?
So,
I had no idea.
I know. I'm in a show. I've been extradited, so I'm here, and I'm gonna be. It's the 70s. I'm pretty sure. So I want to pitch you this movie that I want to make.
All right. Well, Nathan, pitch me this film.
All right. So my wife has been murdered, but I'm not going to let that affect this. So let's talk about Chinatown. So
that was a very I don't know if that was meant to be a joke or what that was, but that was very dark.
Could you imagine like Roman Polanski just walking to like he like guilt trips them into like funding the movie? It's like, oh, remember the Mansons? Like, if I could make this movie.
I feel like this joke could like keep going, and we could talk about many things that Roman Polanski's done, and his reasoning is remember the Mansons. But you know, let's not get into that.
No, let's not get into that. We're not here to talk about the man. We're here to talk about the movie. So, Brenton, Chinatown. You've been, right? You've a Chinatown at some point. Right? Do you like the Chinese food in Chinatown?
I mean, I do. I mean, are you a fan of chicken feet, Nathan? I'll throw that question back to you.
Mate, I love bloody chicken feet. But you know what, Brenton? Forget about it. Forget about Chinatown, because that's not going to be the focus of this movie. Instead, where it's the 50s, I think. And we're with Jack Nicholson, and he plays a Jack Nicholson version of Jessica Jones. He's a PI, and he loves a good drink, and he loves being a little bit cheeky in front of women. Brenton, are you passionate about the water crisis anywhere?
I can't say I am, but for the sake of the argument, sure.
Well, guess what, buddy? You're going to be inspired by this, because Jack Nicholson, he's investigating a disappearance, and it has something to do with the Los Angeles water crisis, because, you know, that's the hotbed topic that we all want to watch a movie about. It's about the absence of water in Los Angeles. So,
oh shit,
yeah, and it's like a fun escape from New York scenario where like there's no water in the city. It's just, you know, there's some governmental bills and maybe there's not some water being allocated. Anyway, the movie is. Have you played the video game LA Noire?
No, I have not.
Okay, it's pretty much that. It's just Jack Nicholson going to various locations and just asking questions and maybe, you know, saying something a little bit rude, maybe a little bit cheeky here and there. And yeah, that's the movie. But wait. Before you give me the funding, are you familiar with Faye Dunaway?
I am, actually, yeah. I think she's a great actress.
Did you see her amazing performance in Network?
I did. I did enjoy that. Yeah.
I watched that movie, Brenton, and Roman Polanski, I want her, but with thinner eyebrows, and in my movie.
Okay. Sure, Roman.
And she's going to star as the wife of the man who's disappeared. And maybe secrets are revealed, and her and Nicholson are going to be entangled in a whodunit in Los Angeles. In maybe Chinatown.
So it's a mystery thriller that's set in LA.
Thriller's a very generous term. I think it's just Conversation the movie. I think it's just Jack Nicholson walking around and doing some Cluedo work, you know? He's literally holding the board game Cluedo as he walks around. And he's like,
interesting.
He's got a little scorecard. He's like crossing out like, okay, it wasn't the butler, cross, like that's Jack Nicholson.
Well, Nathan, you had me at Cluedo, so I'm going to give you some money and you're going to go make this movie. Can't wait to see it.
Fantastic. Thank you. All right. Roman Polanski, he's out of the office, Brenton. It's me back. So,
hello. Hey, Nathan. How you going?
Wow, what a transformation. I really Stanislavski that, didn't I, Brenton?
Oh, whoa. Like, that was the performance of the year, everyone.
Thank you.
And the Oscar goes to,
me.
So yeah, Nathan, let's get into it. Let's get past all the small talk, all the bullshit,
all the hullabaloo.
Let's get into the nitty gritty of Chinatown.
Let's just go to Chinatown. We should have recorded this from Chinatown. Like you hear like the street noise in the background. Like,
yeah, man, who cares? Like sound quality, who needs it? Let's go. Let's have some dumplings. Nathan, what did you think of Chinatown?
Like, it's fine. It's a fine movie. It's okay. You know, it's like eating a board of Play-Doh. It's like eating a Cluedo board, you know?
Nathan, they're two very different images, and I'm glad you clarified that. But I myself have not eaten a board of a Cluedo board. So could you explain to me what that sensation's like and how that relates to Chinatown?
It tastes like a Cluedo board, you know? It's like, you know, it's layered
I still don't know, but continue.
It's layered in mystery. And like you probably shouldn't be eating it, and it probably tastes a little bit bland and plastic.
No, that's very interesting. Can I ask you what you thought of the performances in the film?
Brenton, I know you're going to disagree with me on this because I can already see in your eyes as your eyebrow raises that you disagree with me on this. I can see it in your expression, that grin that only Jack Nicholson would have. I bet you love this movie. I bet you would marry this movie. I bet you would have 3 children with this movie and you'd have a wonderful family.
Well, Nathan, it's funny you say that because we're actually engaged. No,
you hold up a DVD copy and you got like a ring bound around it. You're like,
Nathan, I do love this movie. I think it's great.
I knew you'd fucking love this movie. I think
it's wonderful. I think the screenplay is out of this world. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I think that the performances are great. I especially loved Faye Dunaway in this film. I thought she was fantastic. I was constantly invested in this film, and it's one of those pieces in a while that I've actually watched and I've wondered, where it's going, and I've been intrigued as to where it's going, and I think. And at no point, because I'm not sure where it's going, am I not invested in that kind of mystery, I guess. In the sense of, and I'm okay with not knowing where it's going, if that makes sense. There's some movies that I watch, there's some mysteries that I watch that are just not giving you information that you should probably know for the sake of just not giving you the information.
Looking at you, North by Northwest.
but yeah, there'll be films that you watch, especially today, and I'm just like, that character should know that, or we should know that just by watching this, and like people just act dumb for the sake of like that you're just going to get to the end and then they'll tell you everything and they'll be like, look how smart this film is, and the film's not smart. It's just they've removed certain plot points that are necessary for in terms of character and whatnot, and then you just left going, well, that was a bit shit, wasn't it? But I didn't feel that way about this. I thought it made sense the whole way through, and I thought that it was I was really interested in, like I said, where it was going. I thought it wasn't what I was expecting necessarily.
No.
I thought, and this is just me from the outside looking in at this film, knowing nothing about it, but just in terms of like cinema history, I thought this was going to be a mob movie. You know what I mean? I thought this was going to be like a gangster film. Like, yeah,
you thought it was gonna be like a Goodfellas kind of thing, right? Like,
not necessarily. Well, yeah, I guess. Like, not
no,
like,
but yes.
I thought it was a mob war film. Like, I'd like to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, I don't know why I thought that, but I was just like, oh yeah, Chinatown, that film where the mob's going at it, I guess. But
you might be thinking of Big Trouble in Little China, potentially?
No, it was always Chinatown, because I was like, Jack Nicholson, they've all got the fedoras on, they're all the gangsters, yeah, let's go. But it's just, that was just wrong. That was just a wrong, incorrect assumption, and I don't know how I came to that conclusion. But I was so happy with what this film was and where it went, and yeah, like I said, the screenplay is probably the pick for me.
The screenplay is good. I don't have issues with the writing. I think the writing's good and it is sharp, and like, also, this is like what it's like a famous screenplay, isn't it? Like, everyone rambles on about how fucking good the screenplay is. It's like a film school's like, if you want to read a good script, you read Chinatown. But I didn't read Chinatown, Brenton. I saw Chinatown, or more accurately, I saw Jack Nicholson just walking about for like 2 hours, just being like, "Was it you?" And then someone would be like, "Nah," and it's like, "But was it you?" And then they're like, "Nah." One thing I did like though was that like he's consistently wrong, therefore we are consistently wrong. So like, when you find out stuff, it is genuinely surprising.
Yeah. Yeah, I and speaking of which, if you want a daily dose of your Jack Nicholson, like, this is the movie you've got to watch, because he like, as a lead actor, like, the minutes he's on screen, like, I can't think of a scene that he's not in the film, which is funny enough because I know a fact about that. But
because he's in every scene, isn't he? Like,
he's literally in every scene in the film.
There we go. How did they make this?
I don't remember. I had to look that up afterwards because I was like, there was a lot of Jack in that movie, and I was like, I'm just gonna look up and like remind myself of like he was like in literally every scene, and he was, which I. And
you can't complain. You get your Jack for your buck, don't you?
His performance is great. Like,
he's pretty good. He's got some pretty shitty hair, if you don't mind me saying.
As in, like, his bald kind of spot that's coming through.
I'm like, is that like, deliberate? Or do you just have it at the time?
If young Jack, like, that's how he looks, man. Like, he's just, he had that bald patch. I think I've seen clips from him in, like, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and obviously you see him in The Shining as well, and he's still got that patch that's kind of like coming through. He loves
his patch, doesn't he? That Jack patch. It's patented.
The Jack patch. Yeah.
Coming to you, Jack's patch. But like, you know what? What I love about him in this movie, that he wasn't that creepy. In most of his movies, he's so unsettling. Like, he's just, you're just like, oh.
That's true.
Like even like he's not like Departed level unsettling, but he's actually trying to like do some good in this movie, and like you know, and that's a weird thing. Like he doesn't really give a shit about any of this. He's just trying to do his job at the end of the day and solve what's going on.
I think the character themselves is intrigued, and you know, wants the big story, or wants the big get, I guess you say, but like it's kind of like he's just doing the job, like you said. And on top of that, I really like what this movie's about, which I'll get into in spoilers. But it's kind of I do. All
the chat about the water is so fucking boring. Of all the things they had to pick, like. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's not so much that. I mean, like, thematically, like, I'm into what this movie's kind of about and what it's getting at. And I like where it goes. But in saying that, like, when the film started, okay, and we first introduced to, like, the water situation and that setup.
It's so boring.
I watched that setup scene, and there were some moments in it, and I was like, you know, that's interesting. But I didn't think that's what the plot was going to revolve around, and then it does, and I was like, oh right,
okay. And there's some funny scenes with Jack Nicholson investigating the water, because he essentially just like goes into full Wet and Wild mode. But like outside that, like it's just so boring. Like. All this shit that happens in the movie over some fucking water. It's like, it reminds me of Quantum of Solace when like they're going on about the droughts in Bolivia. It's just like it's important, but like, it's not that interesting.
Oh, Nathan, I was not bored in one scene in this film. I was not like in one conversation. I was into the whole thing. I was so excited watching this movie because I was like, like I'm so invested in this kind of story and where it's going, and whilst it does revolve around like the water situation, like you said, there's also another would you call it's like because it's all mixed in together with like this thing that's happened, but and obviously more details of this come through the film, but it's also like a very kind of personal story. I can't say it without spoiling, but there's things that the people that are involved in this plot, let's say, there's some real shit happening, and I wasn't expecting it to go where it goes.
That was a surprise. Because you think it's just about water, but then when other stuff gets revealed, you're like, holy shit, and it is dark, and you're like,
dark as anything. You're just like, yeah, totally. You just I literally said, holy fuck, in a scene in this film. I think I know the exact moment you're talking about as well. I think I did the exact same thing. Yeah, I was literally like, holy fuck, this movie's going there, and it did. And I was like, oh boy, let's go. Let's go, son.
I do like it for having the balls on that. Is this the first movie you've seen done by Roman Polanski?
No.
Oh, what else have you seen by his?
I've seen his Macbeth.
Oh, okay. So what do you think of Polanski in this? Do you think it's beautifully directed?
Oh, I think it's very well directed.
Also, great score. Like, really lovely piano work. Even though it sounds like some kids just, like, pressing the fucking keys. Just like, boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a great score as well. Cinematography is wonderful. The way the camera moves, the way it's used in each of the scenes. Especially because there's a lot of office scenes and a lot of house scenes. But when it can, the film uses its wide shots to tell you a lot, as good filmmakers tend to do, but it's also like in the close-ups as well and what's going on with performances and whatnot, especially with performances that are not meant to give too much away and people are constantly lying and whatnot. I think like the use of the camera in this film is telling you things, and you know it's telling you things, but obviously you don't know enough details at that point to put things together. But I'd love to watch this movie again. Now, Nathan, I have a question to you, coming back to the Roman Polanski factor, and I wasn't going to bring this up today, but it's funny that you asked about the direction. It just got me thinking, because I was having this discussion the other day with with someone else about films.
Wait a minute, you have other friends? You talk to them about films too?
I do.
Brenton, I thought I was your only friend.
Well, shock horror, mate. We've got to episode 69, and I'm throwing a spanner in the works, Nathan.
Oh, no. By the way, can we just both giggle right now? We're doing episode 69. We've got to get that out of our system. Like, oh, we're doing episode 69. This is the time you drop You Got Another Friend. There you go.
Yeah, man. Sorry. It took us 69 episodes, and I'm throwing the spanner in the works when we're about to go into our 70s, and now we're going to become bitter, like, enemies.
Bitter old men.
Old men.
We'll be Charles Xavier and Magneto just playing chess.
I thought you were my only friend, you fucktard.
Is that a line from the X-Men movies? I forgot about that one.
Charles, you fucktard.
That'd be great, just like out of nowhere. Like, oh, because you haven't seen Dark Phoenix, have you? The latest X-Men movie?
No, I don't really intend on seeing it either.
Don't. Because like every X-Men film gets like one F-bomb, and to keep it like M or whatever it is, or PG-13. So like
it's usually Wolverine too. So I imagine Wolverine's not in that film. So who gets the F-bomb?
I'm going to spoil this for you if you care about.
Sorry, guys. About this. Spoilers
for Dark Phoenix. But like, so like they're trying to like find Jean Grey because she goes bonkers, and then like Cyclops like finds Magneto in a park in the center of New York, and like he has Jean Grey, and so like, and then like, and Cyclops like goes up to Magneto, and he's like. I can't remember exactly what he says, but he says something along the lines of like, give us Jean, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And it's said by Cyclops, who's played like by Ty Sheridan or whatever his name is, and he says it in the most like nonchalant kind of way. And in the cinema that I watched it, everyone's like, "Whoa, look at big boy over here!" Like, yeah,
that's kind of hilarious. I'm gonna wait for that clip on YouTube and just like and look it up because that's so unintentionally funny. Hilarious.
It's great. But you were going to ask me about Polanski.
I was going to ask you about Polanski, and it's not so much about Polanski. It's about art in general, I guess. It's like I was talking to someone that could not for themselves, and this is
they don't want to separate art from artist.
Yeah, and I was wondering how you feel about that.
Yeah, I think, you know what? I know most people I talk to this about, like, it's an important thing to talk about, especially when we talk about, especially Roman Polanski. Yeah, I am a believer of, you know, separating art from artist. Like, I've seen those films made by that Holocaust filmmaker, you know, that famous woman who made films for Hitler. Yeah. And like, you know, she supported Nazis or whatever. Maybe she didn't, but like, you know, and those are still important films to watch. It's very interesting depending on the person. It's like when you see a Weinstein credit on a film, where it's like with Polanski, especially like with Woody Allen. You know, we've reviewed Annie Hall, and he had similar kind of allegations thrown to him. With Polanski, it's difficult, of course, because you know he has, you know, he pled guilty in a rape charge, you know, with a minor, and obviously there was a whole Sharon Tate thing as well, which he wasn't involved in, but obviously that's still a thing. So, in general. Yeah, I think you got to separate the artist from the artwork, because when you're in the world, you don't see you don't see Polanski himself. Well, in Chinatown you do actually, but like, yeah, which is great, which we'll talk about in spoilers. But like, but in general, you don't really see the artist, so like, it's not really that relevant. And it's not. I imagine if they're making it about what they're guilty of. Classic example is Louis C.K. When he came back to comedy, like he was talking about, you know, the sexual assault allegations, that kind of stuff. That I would find difficult to watch because he's bringing that mess into his art. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, no, it does make sense. I think, obviously, like, I think it's an interesting conversation to have, and I'm leaning to more, I probably agree with you in that sense as well. But, and total respect to people that have, you know, because I know people that are just so adamant, like, they're like, I can't watch this anymore because that person's choices are kind of filtering through my lens, I guess, of how I'm doing this.
I understand that criticism when they're physically on screen. So with like a director, it doesn't really bother me. But 100% now, if I watch American Beauty and I see Kevin Spacey, I can't help but think about, you know, what Spacey did and that kind of stuff. Same with House of Cards, and you know, all the other men and women who are, you know, involved in that kind of stuff. It's hard to see them without immediately jumping to that. So you hope that the performance is so good that you forget about it. So, like, same thing.
Yeah. But I imagine there are people that would say, watch, and I'm just going to use this as an example, like someone that would watch a Tarantino film and would find out about, I don't know, like the treatment when it came out about Charlize Theron, not Charlize Theron, fucking,
Uma
that's
Thurman.
Another story. Uma Thurman, sorry. And Diane Kruger, like in Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
And people watching those scenes or those films and just being like, and having that I guess knowledge and watching those and having it affect them or affect their viewing or affect later films and how they view violence in those films or whatever it is. Like, you can fully see that argument, and I think what's important is that, like, that I don't think there's like a line you can necessarily draw in the sand to be like, this is the ruling and then this is how it goes.
100%.
Because it's like you have to really take it film by film, piece by piece, like
yeah,
and come to those conclusions for yourselves. But again, like if you have those decisions and don't say want to watch Chinatown because of Roman Polanski and the whole debacle there, which is warranted. Don't watch it. But I just.
But it's funny because the man got given all the Oscars for The Pianist, and that was in 2002, and all of Hollywood knew what was going on there. They still gave him accolades. So that's an example of them. They're not endorsing Roman Polanski; they're endorsing his art, and so.
Well, in that case, they did endorse Roman Polanski when they gave him Best Director and gave him the standing O. I mean, but yeah, I get your point. It's not. It's Adrian Brody wins Best Actor that year, and that's his art. That's his performance. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
It is. I understand. It's a fascinating topic. Especially with Woody Allen right now, because he's finding it so hard to continue to make films. And I understand why people wouldn't want to work with him. And if it was happening in another industry, people would stop working with him. But it's there is that part of me that goes, oh, that sucks. We're not going to see another Woody Allen picture, or that sucks. Louis C.K. is an amazing stand-up comedian. We're not going to see another set from him for a very long time. And yes, there should be punishment, but but that's so unrelated to the art. At the end of the day, you're sitting down, you're watching a movie, and that's the visceral kind of thing,
yes and no again, because it's that thing of in those circumstances, I imagine that people wouldn't want to work with Woody Allen. He'd find it very hard to make films. Does it sadden me that he won't make another film? Not necessarily. It's not at the forethought of going, oh, drats, Woody Allen, what a shame. But again, if you feel that way and are oh, that sucks, I won't get to see another piece from this artist. I hear that, but at the same time, in an industry, just business doesn't work that way. When someone does the wrong thing, people don't endorse it, and audiences don't usually endorse it really either.
So no, I completely understand. So if you're judging Chinatown by those standards, each to their own. Honestly, Polanski does rock up. We can spoil that, but he's only there for a minute, if best.
But I will say, watching this film, it didn't bother me.
No, nor did I recognize him, frankly, because
Yeah. Well, but again,
I'm used to how he looks in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, not in this.
Totally. I was going to make the same point, but but again, I'm watching this, and I'm with you that probably I can separate the artist from the art. In most cases. So yeah, it didn't affect me at all. I just was having this conversation the other day and I thought I'd bring it up as a little side.
No, thank you for bringing it up. It's an important tangent. So should we rate this movie, Brenton?
For me, I'm going to say, give it a rating. I will say that I think this is technically on every level, this film's very well made. But on top of that, I was really invested into this story. I think the performances are great, and I really like what this film is about thematically, and I want to get into that obviously in spoilers. I like that this film takes risks. I like that the screenplay takes risks, and it takes us to some dark places. And yeah, I think, again, that screenplay is probably, out of all the technical things in this film, it's kind of the shining light, the thing that you go, wow, that's amazing. And it's obvious that you say that,
you just want to kiss it. You want to print it out on A4 paper and give it a big old smooch.
Hey man, like I said, we're engaged. We're getting married at the end of this year. But yeah, so I'm going to give this a thumbs up for me, personally.
Would I put Chinatown on a Thursday night?
Absolutely.
Do you need to watch this movie in 2019?
Absolutely.
I don't know. What the real dissonance for me is the disconnect between the water mystery subplot and then the personal shit that's going on with the family. And I don't know. And I feel like the movie kind of has a fight as to which plot it's trying to prioritize, because at the end I found the personal shit way more interesting than the actual governmental kind of stuff. And so, it is a good screenplay, but at the same time, I don't know what I got out of this movie that, other murder mysteries wouldn't have given me, or, you know what I mean? I'm trying to find that novel thing, fuck yeah, this murder mystery from 1975, you gotta watch it today, it does this thing, and, I can't bite that bagel, if that makes sense. So, and it's a good movie. If you want to watch if you love murder mysteries, this is yours. But the filmmaking is extraordinary, and Polanski's good, but I can't in myself find a reason to really watch it today. Like, and it's funny because I watched this with the housemates and they all loved it and they're like, fuck yeah, this is a good time. Like, we don't normally love old movies, but we love this old movie. So you think naturally that'd be an indicator for me being like, oh, if my mates loved it, you're all gonna love it. But like, I don't know, I wouldn't watch this movie again. I think Jack's better in other stuff. I think Faye's better in other stuff. Like, the plot wasn't, it feels like an episode of The Mentalist almost. Like, I could see better mysteries on television. Like, I don't know. I'm giving the thumbs down.
Fair enough, man. That's your opinion. That's just your opinion, man.
And you beat me to the Jeff Bridges reference.
So yeah, mate. With that all being said, let's get into the spoilers. Spoilers. Spoiling this movie, oh spoilers.
Brenton, I want to mention this right up top because I was been waiting for it the whole podcast. Brenton, there's a Rocky connection in this movie, and I screamed. There is. Oh, Paulie! He opens the film!
Paulie is a character in this film. Well, Paulie isn't the character, but the actor who plays
I wish he was a character. Can you imagine this is the same continuity?
There's some similarities, my friend. There
are
some definite similarities with his kind of vulgar nature and his treatment of women, I guess. Like, there's
Does that mean the robot's also in this movie?
You know what? I reckon there's a possibility. There's a possibility that if Jack Nicholson opened his cupboard, like the robot would just roll out. You know what I'm saying? And,
jeez. Yeah. And the sex robot's in the movie.
This film opens literally with a shot of like these photos of this adultery kind of scene of like this like these photos that one of Jack's associates or Jack himself has taken of this woman cheating on her husband. And it's just like, it kind of zooms out from that. And then it's like, it's Paulie. And you're like, oh, hey, man. Like,
it's funny because if you haven't seen the Rocky films, it means absolutely nothing for you. But for you and me, we're just like, hey, Paulie's another stuff. Good on him.
We seem to give that character a lot of shit as well. So it's like, it's funny that.
Rightfully so, by the way.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Just throws another chicken out Jack Nicholson's window. He's like, you're not dating my sister.
So Nathan, when we started getting into the film, I mentioned that there's this whole scene in like, it's like this courtroom scene where like this, it's like a town council or something where they're discussing this debate with like the water dam or whatever, and you know where it's right, where the water's going and whatnot.
Yeah,
and
the riveting topic.
I think there's a bunch of goats that run in halfway through, or sheep that run in like halfway through.
Why are there sheep in a court?
Hey man, the farmers are rebelling, and
could you imagine?
It's funny. Jack has the response that I would in that scene. He kind of like laughs at it, like he has like that. He sees it happening, and he just like laughs to himself. Like,
it's so stupid.
That's gold.
It's great though.
But yeah, like again, it was that thing of like that was a setup, and like you could see, like it was obviously some exposition, but like you would like, I was kind of like, okay, cool, and we're gonna follow this plot, and I thought it was gonna be like a Simpsons episode, which it is still. But it was gonna be like, we're gonna start with the water, and we're gonna get away from the water as soon as possible, and then we didn't. That was a major plot point that stayed it that way through the whole film, and again, I kind of like that because. When we realize some, I mean, I'm just gonna get into this. When we realize some things in the film, especially about one of the most like dastardly like villains ever, which is her
father.
I can't remember her father. Yeah. Good.
Hello, father.
Good lord. Hello, father. Good lord.
Faye Dunaway just like flicks out her tongue like a little David Tennant impression. Like,
oh Jesus Christ. When he kind of reveals his master plan with the water and like why he's doing what he's doing,
it's like a Bond villain, isn't it? Like,
kind of in a way, but it's just sickening, and he's so high up in this, I guess, this hierarchy of this town, and he kind of like he's one of these people that he just basically owns the town. And it's funny because when you first meet him, he's so well mannered, like he's so like
I liked him when I first met him. I did too.
Yeah, I did too. Like he gets served and he says, I like it with the fishes, the head served on the fish, and then Jack Nicholson has that great joke of like, as long as you don't serve the chicken that way, like which is a great scene. And again, it's a great screenplay and a great performance as well. But this scene between the two of them as well, like it's like a lot of the scenes in this film, it covers all this ground, and it does all these things with like very few words, and it takes you all over these places. So you're kind of, again, that scene specifically, because it starts off one way and then he asks Jack to do another thing, and you're like, what? And then there's more questions that are raised in that scene than are really answered. But again, like you introduce it, and again, I kind of like the guy, but that scene, there's scenes in this that you reveal things about this man that are just like horrendous.
Do you
Not
want to
only
dive
in his
into that?
business practices. Do you want to? Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm ready,
because
man.
This was the
I'm ready, man. Let's talk about incest.
Yeah, dude, that was the oh fuck point in this film.
That was oh fuck.
Is when it was revealed that the girl that we presume the whole film, which I didn't really buy for a second, that was the person that he was.
You knew
having
something was
with.
up, and Faye was hiding
Like,
shit.
But even before that, even when he was like tracking them down, and there was the scene of those two in the boat, there was the scene of him arriving, and they were in the courtyard together, and Jack's taking the photos of them. I never really bought that
was like shit like an idiot. Like
yeah, I didn't think that was adultery. Like at that point, that there was an affair going on necessarily. I was like, what's going on here, and who is this person? And then we're kind of left with that. We don't really know what's going on. And then it's revealed that Faye and her father got it on.
They got it, not in a fun way, like in the worst of ways. Like he raped her. Like
and
it's horrible. And like, because she reveals it in the house, doesn't she? Like
in the sister's/daughter's house, that obviously is like a safe house that she's keeping this person in away from her father.
And it's funny because for so much of the movie I had no idea what the fuck was going on. So when they finally said it, I was like, it was incest.
What a great scene too, as well, when she's like, it's my sister.
Yeah.
Oh right, it's your sister. And then he slaps her. She says, it's my daughter. And then he slaps her and it's like, stop lying.
Yeah, there's some slapping going on in this movie. There's some powerful slaps.
Yeah. And so my sister, it's my daughter. And then it's like, oh, shit.
Oh, no. It's horrible.
Or Mike
great
goes,
moment,
oh,
though.
fuck. Oh, it's a great scene. And then obviously, it's funny how that instantly like changes like Jack's character as well. That he's like,
yeah,
he starts. It's like it's not about the job anymore. It's about like,
especially because he sleeps with her as well. So you think like she's going to fall into this romantic sub-interest and she won't be tangled at the final reveal, but she is, and that's what makes the relationship so messy by the end of it.
I love that about Jack's character as well, that he instantly like is a man of action and is like, fuck, like we got to get, like, this is like dangerous for the both of you and we got to get you the fuck out of here. And he attempts to do so, and unfortunately circumstance doesn't work in...
I was screaming by the end of this movie. Okay, I got to talk about the ending because I have to bring up something that really was a thorn in my side for this whole movie. In fact, can we do title talk right now, Brenton? Because it's so fucking relevant. We're doing title talk right now because this whole fucking movie, I was watching this with my housemates, we were having a few drinks, and I'm like, and I think a third through the film, I said, oh, this is so weird, we haven't gone to Chinatown yet. And I said, boys, I only want one thing from this movie, and that's me seeing Chinatown in the movie Chinatown. Brenton, the whole fucking film passes, and it's an extravaganza. And like, there was like 10 minutes left of the movie, and I'm like, and I was angry. I was like, boys, we still haven't seen fucking Chinatown. Why is this goddamn movie called Chinatown? And then, after all this incest reveal and all that kind of shit, they finally go. Like, I think it's at the house when like Jack finds like the house cleaner. And he's like, where's Faye Dunaway? And the lady was like, oh, she's in Chinatown. And I'm like, ah! I'm like, it's happening! Ah! We're gonna... And then like the camera cuts and you see like the Chinese neon signs. And I'm like, I was like grabbing like my housemate's hands like, ah! We're in Chinatown! And I was so excited, Brenton. My mood was elevated because we're finally in the fucking titular place. And then, like, the most, like, worst ending happens.
Mate, it's really interesting. Before we get into the ending as well, I'll add to that, like, Chinatown is used as more, like, a thematic element in this film because it's mentioned a lot when Jack's talking about his past and about...
Can you explain that to me? Because I really didn't grab it, buddy.
Well, to me, it was like, he was telling stories. He always mentions these stories of Chinatown, and when he was with the department, and that by the sense of things, there was some fucked up shit that went down. And it was always linked to Chinatown and the cops and this whole kind of, I don't know, it's like this... It's like this almost like it's like this sticky goo that's like stuck to these characters, and it's like this it's like a PTSD.
They get like slimed from like a Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards. They're just like covered in green shit. Like
totally.
Oh,
so
we
like,
got Chinatown.
When we come to Chinatown in this film, you feel that energy that like there's gonna be some shit go down here.
Oh, you saw shit about to go down,
and it goes down, and then so like the last line of the film is obviously forget it, buddy. It's Chinatown, and for me,
which by the way makes no sense.
No, it encapsulates what it's about. Like, for me, it's like what this film is about is that on one element you have this like this power struggle between like kind of a dictator that's like that has infiltrated this system and has like got so much money and power that he can just do what the fuck he wants, and is like fucking over like the town, fucking over the farmers, and making sure everything revolves around the plan that he wants it to, and people get what they need when he wants them to. And then on the other hand, you have this link to this, like, people are, because of this, shitty people that are always just trying to get by, and no matter how hard you try, forget it, buddy. It's just Chinatown, because like at the end of this film, it just fucking is devastating in how it ends, and everything that goes wrong possibly that can possibly go wrong goes wrong. And these characters again are left, and like Jack at the end of this film is just like a broken character.
He's broken. But that's the thing. For a movie called Chinatown, were you expecting more Chinatown?
No, yeah, I was. I was.
Were you not upset that we didn't get more Chinatown?
No, because I was happy with what the film was and what it did with it, and I was kind of blown away just by that, by kind of where it went, and like what we were talking about, and like what this film was kind of about, and that kind of Jack as a character like relives this, not necessarily relives, but goes through this shit again. Like he's kind of got out of the system. He's become a private investigator that is just investigating cheating husbands and wives, and you know that's his specialty, I guess, because he's got out of that bullshit, and then he's dragged back in and he tries to do a good thing, and again the whole thing is fucking undermined, one by the system, two by the big boys that are actually, you know, doing the wrong thing, but like can do the wrong thing because they've brought out the system which is also doing the wrong thing, three because people have been lying to him the whole film. When he finally works it out, instead of things just working out the way that they should, they don't, and he kind of makes it worse. Like he
really does. So you wouldn't change the title? You're happy with Chinatown?
No, I'm happy with it, man. And the fact the film ends the way it does, that Faye's character gets shot brutally through the back of the head,
and the father wins. He gets access to his granddaughter.
Oh, that is horrifying. When that poor girl is just screaming, and
I would just call it LA is miserable. That's what I would call this movie, because this film is exactly that.
The film it reminds me most of is, and I know that there's major differences between these in tone, in plot, obviously, but it reminds me of Seven to a certain degree. That it's just so fucked, like.
Everything's fucked, but I don't think that'd make a good title. Like.
it was just devastating, and the fact that asshole won, and he gets that girl, and again the system just lets them down. Like those cops that are like, yeah, they're doing their job and they're investigating. But again, this PI guy has like worked out the whole situation. One, because he's become personally involved in it and like has been able to get that information one way or another, and probably not by the right ways. But two, like there's no trust between characters. There's no humanity, I guess, in that sense, and so of course it fails. It's just fucked.
You're just scratching your head by the end of it, going like, "Geez, like what was all this for?" And in the end, it was for nothing.
I mean, you see a man who's
so cynical, isn't it? Like, no wonder Polanski did it. Like, geez.
A man that's daughter is shot brutally through the head on his own account because he couldn't defuse a situation, is then seen grasping at his granddaughter and also daughter, and dragging her away from the scene with like no real like emotional.
I'm getting upset just thinking about it. Like, it still upsets me. Like, I fucking hate the end of it. I was angry. I was disappointed that we didn't see more of Chinatown. And I turned off the movie and I'm like, fuck this movie, and I walked away.
Well, I think it's cool that
I poured my wine on the floor in protest.
Whoa, Nathan, hold your horses and hold your wine. Jeez, like that's a very drastic response.
I want to move on to something lighter, Brenton, because this is upsetting me, even just thinking about it. Brenton, I want to talk about two side characters in this movie that brought joy into my life.
Who were they?
One was the snooty librarian at the records place.
Yes.
He was great.
scene.
I love him.
Yep.
Might be one of my favorite characters because Jack is consistently pissing him off. And when he rips the page, I gasped.
Oh, that was bloody great. When he just like,
he's like, and the second was the man at the nursery home who had like so many flowers on his suit.
Yeah.
I was like looking at him going, is this man like a walking garden? Like, what's going on? Like,
hey man, he's in an elderly home. He needs to bring some light and some fragrance, I guess, to every situation he's in, I guess. Like,
speaking of that elderly home, was that anti-Semitic?
What do you mean?
Did you like when they're in the nursing home and Jack gets booted out and he has to like punch all these guys at the entrance to the nursing home? Are they like saying like there's no Jews allowed or something like that? Like they're like all anti-Semitic, like Semitic in the nursing homes. I remember during that scene there's like really heavy anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
Like, why is this here? Why is this in the movie? Like Polanski is Jewish. Why is this here?
Because I think it exists at the time, and I think that would exist, that like there'd be places.
Obviously anti-Semitism exists. I was just wondering like why it was just mentioned in that nursing home. It was just so random. Like,
because I don't know, I thought it was interesting. It added like a layer of like, oh fuck, this is fucked again. Like you're like, again, it's like this whole human connection thing. It's like, I mean, they let this in, no, and then like Jack's playing this part of like, well, that's great. I was that's great that you said that because that's the service you provide, I guess. And it's all bullshit again, and it's like. Again, like there's so many things in this movie that are really fucked. Like when you start thinking about it.
Oh my God, I don't want to start thinking about it because it upsets me, Brenton. It makes me bloody triggered. You can see me hands shaking and trembling.
You can like there's a lot of characters that Jack mainly will go up to characters and ask like simple questions, and it's just like all this bullshit that you get back. And it's like that scene when
everyone's horrible in this movie.
When that young boy, when the young boy on the horse isn't able to even talk to the guy and is like. Yeah. Got this weird edge to them, and it's just like, what is going on in this town? Like it's just it's lost something. Yeah,
it's bonkers. You know what scene did bring joy to my heart, Brenton? It was the bloody chase scene at the farm between like, you know, Jack driving his car about and they're all shooting at him.
But again, what the fuck? Like people, like this, like their first response is one that's
like throwing his hands in the air, like, jeez.
but they just shoot at the guy.
I know.
They beat the shit out of him.
Well, I love the one man with a crutch and he's just beating him up with it.
I guess I get someone is on your property. I get that.
Yeah.
But
come
the fact
on.
that there's this assumption that it's like, and like, you know, they've got reason to be wary, but still like, what, you're going to commit murder? Like... like it was just
LA's fucked up. Like I have no inclination to go after seeing this movie, even though it's been like 70 years. Like
Nathan, speaking of Roman Polanski, shall we talk about the famous scene?
Oh my goodness!
Because we haven't even mentioned this yet. How
is this
Jack
famous? Because like this is amazing. We haven't mentioned Jack Snow's the whole film.
Well, for me, it's famous. Like that, Jack has got a little bit of a condition going through this whole film, and that is because Roman Polanski sticks a nose in his knife, a knife in the man's nostril, and flicks it out to the side, like cutting his nose open. And so for most of the film, Jack...
I was like, whoa! Finally some
Jack's
action.
Got his face covered by like a Birdman style like bandage, like cotton thing that's on his nose that's covering his stitches that have like fixed his nose up, and it looks so ridiculous like for the rest of the film.
And he wears it for most of the film.
Yeah,
it's great.
Which I love. I love it so much. Gosh, it's great.
It almost stilled the movie, Brenton, like the fact that Jack Nicholson was wearing especially that first scene as well, after he gets knifed, where you just see him with the bandage, because it just looks ridiculous.
It's a good shot. There's so many good shots. Do
you want to talk about what stills this movie then?
Yeah, man, let's talk about what stills this movie. So, like you said, Nathan...
It's beautiful.
It was the scene before Jack...
talks to a boy on a horse.
Yeah. And he works his way down from the bridge, and he works his way down into this kind of like vacant riverbed. And there's the sun's kind of shining through the bridge, and he works his way down the hill, and he looks out at the sun through the underpass. And it's just a beautiful shot. But it's also kind of encapsulates like the vibe, I guess, of this movie. And I just thought it was really spectacular to look at.
If you guys want to see this photo, like go to our YouTube channel. We've got the stills from all our episodes on there. It's gorgeous. Like, I must say, going under a bridge normally is not an aesthetic thing, and it's not normally something you want to look at, but this was very lovely.
I agree. And I like how the use of lighting in this image as well. I like that it kind of alludes to something about this movie. Like, I saw this and I was like, that's kind of what I... Like, it's something that I can be like, yeah, Chinatown. Like, look at that. That says a lot. So yeah, that's kind of what stills this movie today. Not as much of a funny one as we usually do, but hey, sometimes
we should at some point have a nice vista, and we've chosen the fucking sewer under a bridge as our vista,
Totally, man. But yeah, I want to ask
how did we make this making movie magic? Yeah.
Oh, you know the song.
Is that was my impression of you? Was it good?
Nathan.
I think mine was more throaty.
Yeah, it was. Mine's usually a bit more higher pitched and a bit more
Mine was I've had my 10th beer and I'm singing it at a pub.
That's alright.
Oh my God. Okay, next time I get wildly drunk at a pub, I'm just going to start bursting into song with that. I'm stumbling around the bar how did...
So guys, if
you time to go home, Nathan.
If you ever run into us when we're on a night having a night on the town... And you please start singing that little jingle, and I promise you we will both join in, and we'll come over and have a chat, and we'll talk about Chinatown, we'll talk about great films, we'll talk about how everyone hates how shit Emerald City is. We'll talk about Cats, Tom Hooper's Cats. Is it going to be a masterpiece or a master shit?
It's basically just all of our nights out, Brenton.
Yeah, hey, if we were out, here we go. This would make me cry. Is if we were on a night on the town, we're in some place, we're just hanging out, we're talking to each other, having a few drinks, and we hear this voice start singing that jingle, and we turn around, and Willem Dafoe is smiling at us,
and he's got a big bandage on his nose,
and he's singing that jingle, and he just says, "Hello, Father," and we go over to him and we give him a big hug. That would be the dream. That would be the dream.
It'd be wonderful.
But Nathan, let's talk about how they made Chinatown.
How did they make it?
So this is really interesting, just this little fact here. At the time of filming, Jack Nicholson had just embarked on his long-standing relationship with Angelica Houston. Huston, I'm not sure. This made his scenes with her father, John Huston, rather uncomfortable, especially as the only time Angelica was on set was the day they were filming the scene where Noah Cross interrogates Nicholson's character with Mr. Giddies. "Do you sleep with my daughter?" ?
Oh, jeez.
How awkward.
Why did you choose that day to bring her on set? That's not smart.
Hey, maybe it was just chance. I don't know.
Oh, I love it. Oh, Jack. Because they wanted to make this a trilogy, right?
Yeah, man. And this has got a sequel apparently as well.
Yeah, apparently Jack came back because they wanted to make 3 films of all this kind of stuff. And it's funny, Jack Nicholson turned down all these detective roles he was offered after this movie because he was going to make a trilogy of this. But they only made the sequel, it bombed, and then they never made the third one. So
there you go. Great. Maybe one day. Who knows? Maybe one.
It'd be great if in The Departed, that character that Jack plays was the third movie. Just continuity wise, he's got a scar on his nose.
Oh my God.
I used to work in LA.
Nathan, you got a fact, buddy?
I do. So, at one point during the making of this film, Polanski and Nicholson got into a heated argument. I don't know what it was about, but it got so aggressive that Polanski smashed Nicholson's portable television with a mop.
Holy shit! With a mop?
With a mop. Polanski grabbed a mop and smashed Jack Nicholson's portable television.
What?
Because Nicholson wanted to have a portable television in his trailer because he wanted to watch Lakers games in between the shoots. And
of course he did. That's great.
Yeah, and Polanski wasn't having any of it, so he smashed it up.
Whoa, Roman, what's going on, buddy? What was going on?
Yeah, he's an aggressive fella.
I've got another one here, and that is the fact that after several takes that never looked quite right, Faye Dunaway got annoyed and told Jack Nicholson to actually slap her. And so he did, and felt very, very guilty for it, despite it being Dunaway's decision. And that shot where he was actually slapping her made it into the movie.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That's very cool. Good.
I don't know if it's awesome, but yeah.
Yeah, Brenton, you as an actor, would you enjoy being slapped? Would you do it for the work?
I've been slapped before for the work. It's not enjoyable.
He says with the biggest air quotes, for the work. Yeah,
it's not enjoyable, but it obviously looks better. But I think there's a way to slap someone that isn't as painful. It's like when you're slapping someone and you hit them further back in the head and you get that ringing effect, that shit's bad. But as long as it's forward, you're gonna be okay. But obviously, if on a film set or something, you don't want to be doing that all the time because you don't be hitting someone in the head a lot. And obviously as well, I think ideally you'd want to have it staged with a stunt coordinator or something so that
Yeah, obviously you don't want just people just like having like a full-on like fight on set.
Hey man, some actors are like, yeah man, just hit me, and you're like, dude, no.
No man, like I don't want to get sued.
Exactly. Okay, this one's pretty interesting. So you know how you said there was a bit of an argument between Roman Polanski and Jack Nicholson? Well, hey,
I love the argument stories, mate.
There was some arguments between Roman Polanski and Faye Dunaway. And
Polanski's just picking fights everywhere.
They were notorious for their on-set arguments. During filming, Polanski pulled out some strands of Dunaway's hair. And on another occasion, when she asked him what her character's motivation was, he exploded and yelled, "Just say the fucking words, your salary is your motivation."
Holy shit!
Yeah, man.
Jeez! That's amazing.
Good on you, Faye, because I loved your performance in this film. So, you know.
That is such a shutdown.
I'm glad you got your motivation in there, and you're a great actor, so.
Like, it was wrong of him to say that, but I do appreciate how sick of a burn that was. Like, jeez.
It's pretty fucked.
That's amazing. I don't want to endorse that, but like...
Yeah, no, it's pretty... I think it's pretty bad, but... yeah. I just want to say one last thing, which you will hate. You will hate this fact. Because, Nathan, in the original script... there were no scenes that took place in Chinatown at all.
What? Why is it called Chinatown then? Fuck. Okay. Stop giving movies themes and making that theme the title. If I go into a... this is why we fucking do title talk in the first place. Because if I go into a movie called Chinatown, I want to see some fucking Chinatown. If I'm watching Bridge on the River Kwai, we better be on the River Kwai. You know what I'm saying?
Nathan, I was okay that there was no Chinatown in Chinatown, and I would have been okay with that. I'm glad there was, but I really like the title Chinatown.
Oh, fuck you. Well, let's look at this film's poster. Look, I'm gonna ameliorate this grumpy mood because this poster's fucking incredible, isn't it?
It is amazing. It's up there, dude, for me. With like the posters.
You guys gotta Google this shit. It's like a smoky kind of image of Jack Nicholson on the left. It's like being like hand painted or like hand drawn or something like that. And he's blowing out this green smoke from a cigarette, and it creates the face of Faye Dunaway, who's like melted into like you see her eyes, nose, and lips, and it's melted into this yellow background. Like it's gorgeous. Like it is so like film noir. Like it's I wouldn't touch it.
And Nathan, on top of that, if you look down the very bottom, they've even added a bit of a splash of the water, you know?
Jeez. Fuck this. Who the fuck walks out of this movie going, man, I'm really glad we explored the water crisis. You know what I mean? It's like in LA.
Hey man, it's a good movie. It's a great movie. But yeah, this poster it's pretty perfect. I don't think it could be improved upon for this, to be honest.
No, genuinely. We're giving it the thumbs up, Brenton.
The 2 thumbs are up for the poster. Love it. Well, Nathan, now that we've done all of that, I think it's time to pass the power. Power to the people. Let's pass it to the people. The power.
Passing it to the people. I was going to sing just then too, but I'm like, no, I should let Brenton sing at least once in the episode. Like,
Thank you. I need my quota.
All right, Rotten Tomatoes, Brenton. Again, I'm alone. I'm a fucking alone in this world, Brenton. I'm going to die alone because apparently the tomato meter for this movie from critics is 99% and from audiences it's 93%. So,
woof.
So people love it. So obviously don't listen to me. Just, listen to Brenton's bits of the podcast.
No, Nathan. There's 2 of us here, and that's why we do this podcast. It is why we do this. It's more fun to have the disagreement than it is to have the agreement. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. That's why I'm going to grab this mop and smash your television one day, Brenton.
Can't wait for that. But in the meantime, let's listen to Gene Siskel from Chicago Tribune, who says, gave it a rotten review and says, as much as I admire the work of both Polanski and Nicholson, I found Chinatown tedious from beginning to just before the end. Sorry, Gene.
I'm not alone.
So yeah, you're not alone, but I just disagree, dude. Like, I was so enthralled by this film, and I'm so excited to watch it again. Like, I really loved it.
Oh, good. You fucking watch it again, and you tell me what you think next episode when we do the past 10.
Hey, man, I'll let you know.
I'm going to tickle Brenton until he says he doesn't like this film. I'm going to just like...
What? Hey, shock horror. What if I came back and I changed my mind and gave it a thumbs down?
That'd be amazing. Could you imagine, like you 180 it, you watched it again the second time, you're like, guys, I'm so sorry, this was completely egregious. Like, that'd be amazing. Manuela Lazarick from The Ringer liked it and said, once you've seen it, Chinatown never leaves you. Like Jake, you can't forget it. Yeah, I guess it's not forgettable. I'll give it that.
That's such a schmaltzy like little review there. Like,
oh god, you can see someone loves this movie. Jeez. Like Philip French from The Observer, who said, this film is flawless. Is it flawless, Brenton? Would you change anything?
No film's flawless. No film's perfect. But in saying that,
except for the original Spider-Man trilogy, but we'll get there.
In saying that, I don't know what to say about this movie. That's I truly don't. Like, from my first viewing, I'm struggling to find something that I can be like, yeah, that's the thing. That's shit that I can be critical of. Because I was just so into it. Yeah.
All right, fine. Yeah. That's Philip then. What's Garen saying?
Garen M gives it 2.5 stars and says, I think Chinatown is an overrated film. The humor is appalling. The plot is disturbing. It's a volcano that builds up and never blows. In the end, the bad guy kind of wins. You don't get a dramatic ending. You get a rushed ending with a now famous quote that doesn't even make sense. Okay, Garen, I'm going to point out a few things. The only thing that you said there that could be used in an argument, I feel, well, 2 points is, 1, it's an overrated film, which is your opinion. 2, you get a rushed ending with an now famous quote that doesn't even make sense. Sure, you might not get it. That's totally cool. I'm not even saying I'm getting it. I expressed what I took away from that before. What I don't get is, the plot is disturbing. Yes, it is. It's a volcano. Like, it's disturbing, but that's not a criticism. You can't just.
That's true.
It's meant to be disturbing. It's a volcano that builds up and never blows. No, that is not true at all.
No,
the ending of this film is the biggest blow ever. In the end, the bad guy kind of wins.
Quote that from Brenton, everyone.
Oh gosh, I'm asking for it, aren't I? In the end, the bad guy kind of wins. Again, like, yeah, that's true, but like, how can you say that's a criticism of a film? That's just how it goes. You don't get a dramatic ending. This is one of the most dramatic endings I've seen in a while.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
You get a rushed ending with a now famous quote that doesn't even make sense. Sure, it's an overrated film if you think so. Sure, but like, everything else was like, yeah, like, that's true, Garen. Well, why is that bad? You know what I mean?
I agree with Garen in the sense that, like, it is overrated, but, like, I don't want to talk about the ending. I'm still getting triggered. I still feel myself just getting physically upset. I feel
you. You really... It got to you, and that's...
He's like, Nathan, let go of me.
No,
Put down that mop.
It seems to have really got to you, and that's okay, man. Like, but
we're
at
here.
The same
we're here
time,
to move through it, you know?
Exactly. But I just don't think you can be critical of something because it's dark or if it doesn't have a happy ending or the bad guy wins or something. I just think that's weird.
Cough, cough, Game of Thrones.
Blobbo X. 4 stars. Sad ending, girl die, Blobbo cry. What the fuck? Oh, I don't even know what to say to that. Blobbo X, gosh. But gave it 4 stars, sure.
Great. Brian, he gave it 2 stars and he says, I don't see what the fuss is about. This is where I'm coming from. I don't understand why you need to watch this in 2019. Unless you want to feel really fucking depressed, then go for it. But like...
No, I really think it's worth a watch. But again, just know that you're going into quite a dark film. And yeah, like, again, it's not going to be for everyone. No film is. But I think this.
But if your name's Brenton, special. All the Brentons that listen, it's all for you.
Hey guys, get around it. I know you'll enjoy it.
Tweet at us if your name is Brenton.
Please do, actually. Frycook48. Glad to have finally watched it. Pretty damn good film. It just needed some scenes set in the rain for maximum atmosphere. What?
Sure. At one point, Jack Nicholson will do like the Spider-Man kiss with Faye Dunaway or something. Like,
oh my god! Could you imagine? Could you imagine if he had like a little harpoon and he just came down like upside down? Was like,
and as he's kissing it, like the bandage is slowly like peeling off. It's just like
that's disgusting.
Yuck. Yogi FCB on YouTube wrote, "She's my sister. Slap. She's my daughter. Slap." Hey man, sure, if that's a takeaway, go for it.
It's a good scene. Hey, yeah. It's pretty memorable too, so sure. 19 Psycho Bait 60, what a name, says, when you look at this ending and begin to understand the whole context, then it's truly the saddest ending in the history of entertainment. Is it the saddest ending in the history of entertainment? I don't know.
I mean, Hamlet's pretty sad.
Hamlet's pretty sad. Titanic's pretty sad.
Titanic's pretty sad, yeah. Spider-Man 3's pretty sad.
But it is. Hey, quick story. I remember watching Spider-Man 3 in the cinema. Okay, and I remember being like weirded out by Toby. Now take on this and whatnot. But
yeah.
But when spoiler alert at the end of Spider-Man 3, when Harry's death scene and the ugly crying, which is kind of funny now when you watch it from Tobey Maguire when he's like, I teared up at the end of Spider-Man 3, but that's like coming from like a kid that's like, yeah man, that's coming from a kid that's like been through the 3 films and has liked Harry Osborn and like, you know, and I was genuinely upset. But when you watch that scene now, what I can't get around is Toby's crying. Like, who chose that shot? Who was like, that's the take?
I don't care. I love it. It's so good. I miss Spider-Man crying in movies, Brenton, frankly.
Hey, man. I'm pretty sure Spider-Man's crying at the moment, so, let's see.
But yeah, dude, that's Chinatown.
Yeah, man. We did it. We did Chinatown.
We did it. We finally went to Chinatown. Like, you know what? I love Sydney's Chinatown. There's some good food there, man.
It's really nice, actually.
It's really good.
Yeah, I'm a big really fan great. Of it. So, guys, Nathan can't recommend the film Chinatown, but Sydney's Chinatown, he's all about. So get
around it, man. It's like my go-to place for dates as well. There's a great noodle place on like the corner of Chinatown where it's BYO. Fantastic. If you ever want to go,
Chinatown, Sydney's your go-to for dates. It's a good choice.
It's great. Yeah. And there's always great energy and everyone's just like drinking wine out on the streets and it's like, it's fun. It's a good time.
Totally. Yeah.
Go to Chinatown, the place. Or your local Chinatown. I'm sure there's one everywhere.
So guys, if you end up going to Sydney's Chinatown, please tweet at us and tell us what your experience is like. Obviously you can find us on Twitter.
Wait a minute, I'm the date.
or go on a date with Nathan and tell us how that is. Please, you can contact us via email as well, or comment on our YouTube videos, or you can find the podcast itself on the podcast app or SoundCloud as well. But yeah, that's us. That's us for another week.
Cheers, thanks for listening. So these noodles are getting cold, Brenton. Should we get into it?
Oh my god, my dumplings are stone cold. All right, I guess we're just gonna have to dig in.
Let's go. Brenton, use the chopsticks. Don't use your fingers.
Okay.